Hey guys, welcome back to Spooky Tuesday, a weekly podcast where we're breaking down all of our favorite slashers, thrillers, monster movies, and black comedies on the new scariest day of the week. I'm Sydney Thompson.
I'm Monica Height.
And I'm Chelsea Duff.
And today is my fucking birthday, bitch.
Woo!
Actually, literally, it's today. Because today, if you're listening to this right on Spooky Tuesday, it's March 31st. So thank you for being here with me today as we all go to church together. I feel like this is a religious experience. We'll get into this so much more, but I feel like my life would have been completely different if I had just seen this movie a little earlier in my life. And that is the wonderful 2004 The Phantom of the Opera. There's going to be a lot of singing today on the podcast, which couldn't be worse for you because it's an opera and none of us are sopranos. I can tell you that right now. So I'm just going to go in and read the log line right now, and then we're going to get into it, girl. A young soprano, becomes the obsession of a disfigured and murderous musical genius who lives beneath the Paris Opera House. Da-da-da. I just want to say that yesterday I was getting ready to watch this movie and I was like, why did I choose this movie? It's 2 hours and 23 minutes long. And that's too long. That's too many minutes. I'm stressed out. I have to not do anything on Saturday night so I can watch this movie. And then I started it and I was like, it's starting. It's black and white. There's really terrible aging makeup on Patrick Wilson. And I'm like, this is so, like, what is this? I don't like, this is very different than the beginning of the book. And then they're like, here's lot 666. And it's like, gentlemen, light it up. And shit goes so fucking hard. I rose from my seat. I started screaming. I put the volume all the way up with my subwoofer on. And I was like, fucking like head banging to the beginning of this movie. And immediately I was like, it's on like Donkey Kong. Thank fucking God we're doing this movie. And I think that like, if I ever were to go perform on the stage, you need like a pop-up song. Like I would watch that scene. I would watch that, like the drab gray as everything turns to beautiful Technicolor and like the golden nipple of the booby lady statues like comes into focus with that music.
Oh,
wow. It really, that really did something for me. It was really special for me. So thank you guys for indulging me. I know it's not too big of an ask, at least for Sydney.
Oh no. I will fully admit that I watch this movie all the time.
Why aren't I watching it all the time? Oh my God.
I love
at all times
taking a high dose movie watching supplement and experience. It's like experiencing it the first time when I was 14.
Oh my God. I also had a movie watching supplement. One was a martini.
No, you're supposed to. They want you to.
You legally have to, actually.
I waited till like halfway through the movie, but then, the second half was a totally different experience than the first. Yeah. I mean, Sydney's an OG. She loved this shit for forever. Chelsea, I'm not as sure of what your Phantom experience is. Like, how long has this been a part of your life?
I've been very careful not to say anything so far because I didn't want to be a party pooper, because my primary experience is watching this movie in like 6th grade and roasting it with my friend at a sleepover with 2 other people. Like, we were not about it. And I don't remember, like, I mean, there's obviously like a lot of sus vibes here to pick up on. That as you get older,
there's a lot to discuss.
Kind of delicious. But as you get older and more into it, or at least can like recognize what's going on there, even if things are like obviously like bad, it's also like, this is a BDSM movie.
Yeah, but it's like I know what I'm seeing. and I'm choosing to look the other way.
Yeah, but my primary experience was like in 6th grade. 2 of my friends hugely into musical theater were like obsessed, and then me and my other best friend Marielle were like not being nice. And so I was
Wow.
really scared.
You watched it to bully your other two friends.
I don't think we wanted to watch it. I think they wanted to watch it, and we were like, okay, but we're watching it our way. We're
Chelsea,
doing our
not
thing over
horny
here.
in 6th grade, clearly.
Horny in different ways in 6th grade. This was I think it's important for young girls to explore their sexuality on their own. But I was very scared that I was not gonna like it and still just be like, this is ridiculous. And that I would have to pretend and be like, yeah, I'm so happy and I'm having fun for Monica's birthday. But then I also took a movie watching supplement and watched it last night and was like, okay, now that I'm more appreciative of opera as well, and I can like see all these, now that I've built up my media repertoire more and am more prepared for this movie and what I'm getting in this movie, I can also admit that it slaps in many ways. Like, is it for me exactly? No, but there's a lot here that it is delicious.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's so interesting. So did none of us here watch the music, like go see the musical or watch the musical first? Did you, what was your, you saw the musical before you saw the movie? Okay, say more about that.
I saw it when I was like little, right? Like my parents would always take me, like we would go to New York and it would come to Atlanta and stuff like that. And so it was one of the like, and it was so, I like didn't fully understand what was going on, but I loved all of the songs and like it was so beautiful. And like she's a lot older in the play.
Yeah.
And this movie is he's grooming her basically because in the play they like their thing only lasts for like 2 months. So like,
and she's already fully an adult by the time it starts.
She's 23 or something like that. Like, and like there's a line where Meg is like, in the movie it's like, who's your great tutor? In the play it's, who is your new tutor?
Well, okay, I agree with you, and I agree with you.
And he's a lot older.
Yeah, so like the age difference is big in
he's
the
like
books.
in his 50s in the stuff.
She an adult.
Girl, okay, so guess what, bitch? I fucking read the book this week, so I have so much to say. I read the whole book, and then I brushed up on the Wikipedia parts for the parts I definitely, it lost me a little bit today. I've been getting ready for my birthday party, and so I wasn't giving it 100%. It's been a very busy week. That's why I'm so sunburnt right now. I've been out in the 90-degree heat all day, every day this week too. It's been crazy. So if I'm a little cooked, that's why. But yeah, I got to read the Gaston Leroux book this week. And honestly, I'd recommend you guys read it, but it is so different tonally than the show and the movie because it's like kind of like a crime novel. It's like a mystery novel, and it's written like totally from like a detective's perspective for parts of it, like sort of. It's like a narrative detective voice. Like, and it's also very funny how it's written. Like at the beginning, it's like, here's the introduction in which we set up how the ghost is actually real and it's not actually it's not fake, like it's actually a real ghost. Like it's like very like conversational in some ways, that is very bizarre. It's very funny. But yeah, like there's so much that's different about like who the Phantom is, where he came from, all the stuff. The age stuff seems to jump around all the time, so we can dive into that in a second. But focusing in on the musical still, I only saw it one time. I've told this story on the podcast before, but I will tell it again, bitch. Because it's the only time to do it. I went and saw it at the Pantages Theater with this girl from the grade above me who is in theater as well. Her name is Alyssa. I'm not gonna say her last name. Don't worry, Chelsea. I know you're looking scared like I was gonna say it. And so Alyssa takes me to the Phantom of the Opera. We have never hung out before, ever. We only hung out like at theater things. She's like, you want to go see it with me? I'm like, yeah, sure. And we go and we see it. And I was like, this is pretty good. I don't remember anything. And then I do remember that in the second act, I fell asleep. similarly to how I experienced this movie last night. Not that the second act isn't so exciting, okay, but I fell
But it's
asleep.
so long.
It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. I was reading this like fun, like college students like formal essay about this adaptation. So that was very exciting source material. And she was like saying that it was so faithful to the play in like the length of the play that it was like to its detriment. Like there's
there's no
things that you didn't need
intermission.
to keep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, I fell
Give me a little
asleep.
break to take a nap in between, and then I'll circle back.
Exactly. But I fell asleep and I was pretending to be awake and I tried to make sure that like she didn't know that I had fallen asleep, so I was very embarrassed. And then in retrospect, now knowing what I know about Alyssa, I do think that maybe it was a date and I didn't know. I think it might have been a little bit of a date. So anyway, I'm sorry, Alyssa. I was not really in tune with my bisexuality in 10th grade. So sorry about that. And here's to the late bloomers. And Phantom of the Opera still wasn't my sexual awakening then because I was asleep for the whole thing. But yeah, it was fun doing like some research on like what the plot is for the musical versus the novel versus the movie. Because
there's like a whole bunch of movies based on the novel, and other than this one, which is based on the musical, all of the rest of them are like straight horror movies.
Well,
yeah,
the Phantom of the Opera is one of Universal's like classic, is a classic monster.
Yeah. So another thing I did to prepare for the podcast, I don't know if you noticed, it doesn't look that good right now because I just put some clothes there, but I cleaned my room more than I've ever cleaned it in months. So there was usually a big pile of bags right there. They're gone now. Anyway, so I was like, oh, I'll watch the first Phantom of the Opera while I clean. Well, it's a silent film, as some already probably knew. I started it and I was like, fuck, it's a silent film. But I still kept it on. I just looked up every now and again. And I honestly like cooked to like the musical score for that movie. I would just look up every now and again and be like, because I'd read the book, so I knew what was kind of happening.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's like when I listen to Twilight in Spanish and I'm like, oh, they're at the hospital now.
Right.
I know the words for hospital and doctor, so now they're at the hospital.
Yeah, really like probably the least ideal viewing of the was it Don Chaney or Charney? How do you say his name? Phantom of the Opera.
I
So
think Charney, but I'm not looking at anything that, and I don't have knowledge. That's just my guess.
but yeah, it sounded really good. And I really liked the way it looks and I really liked the way they did the makeup for the Phantom. In that one. Just in that one. Just in that one. But one of the things that's really interesting about the novel compared to the book, it's like you have so much distance from Christine Daae in the book because you're reading it filtered through like 3 different men's perspectives. Like you're never getting a woman's perspective. This was written by Gaston Leroux and it came out in 1910 and it actually came out as a serial. So it was like a series of stories in the newspaper. So it was like episodic in
It's
the
like
newspaper.
a fanfic that you're subscribed to.
Exactly.
Which
OG
this movie is
fanfic.
crazy fanfic vibes because you can plop in so many. So many of my notes are like, it's like if Sleeping Beauty were a romance between Maleficent and Aurora, and it's like if this were this and this, and like it's so
What
easy to just the like even if you don't care about the characters necessarily, the construction here is so like ripe for playing with these way that the characters interact with each other.
Well, it actually is fan fiction of an actual chandelier accident at an opera house. So
there you
yeah,
go. And the Phantom, a fanfic author, he's like, and here's what I would do with Christine, and here's my diorama that I
my little
made
dolly
to
of her,
act
the
things
dioramas. Yeah, so I'll read the little backstory of the original incident. Apparently there were rumors at the time at it's called Palais Garnier, maybe, is the name of the palace, the opera house. And there were rumors that there was some sort of ghost type thing, apparently. So that was already like a rumor that was haunted. But they were doing this opera called Helle or something, or Helle with an accent on it. And in Act 1 of that opera, there, like, just when it finished, a fire started on the roof of the opera house, and it melted through a wire holding the counterweight for the chandelier and causing it to crash, and it injured several people and killed one person. And so that was the inspiration for this book, which is crazy that actually happened, because, like, what a visual. The gorgeous chandelier coming down and destroying everybody. Like, really interesting.
That had to be so scary back in the day too, right? Like,
yeah.
And also because those are candles, girl. Like, that's not just a very heavy thing falling down.
That's
Here's
fire.
a bunch of flames coming at you.
It's literally flames. Yeah. Like, there's one point where, like, all the gas lamps that are on the stage that, like, burst into flame at the very beginning, which is so sick, they get, like, blown out. And I'm like, so is gas just pumping into the theater right now? Like, what? Like, how do these work? But anyway, the thing that's really interesting about the Phantom's characterization is he's, like, so much fucking worse in the books. He's still very like, you still feel empathy and sympathy for him. Like, he's still a sympathetic character. And, like, this is apparently one of the very first characterizations of a monster type character where you're supposed to feel sympathy for him. So that was big. Good for you, Gaston Leroux. But he had this, like, really crazy past where he was the son of an architect, but he's, like, super, like, he still had the deformity thing, and then he got, like, roped into this thing where he, like, was in Persia, and he was this, like, magician type, gestury type character for the sultana who was there, like a lady sultan, and she loved killing people and, like, learned how to kill people from the Phantom. Is he called Eric in the movie at all, by the way? Because his name's
No.
Eric in the book.
In the musical, he's just called the Phantom.
Anyway, well, his real name's Eric with a K, in case you want to know about that.
Olivia tried to tell us that at our sleepover, and Marielle and I were not having it, for the record.
Well, I'm sorry to say his name is Eric. I don't know what to tell you. Because so often Christine is like, poor Eric in the book, like, over and over and over again. But yeah, so he, like, would help this sultan lady, like, torture and kill people for fun. And then the big thing that his huge big thing is, he was known for this, was called the Punjab lasso. And it was a lasso that was a noose. And so he would, like, lasso you around the neck with the noose and then fucking pull it and choke you out. And that was his special thing. And so that's what he's using in this movie too, but you don't, like, they don't say it like that. But that's why they say, keep your hand by your face or whatever the fuck, or by your neck or whatever.
At the level of your eyes.
At the level of your eyes. Yeah, to keep it from hooking you and killing you.
So that you can go,
no. And he also had, like, in the book, like, a torture chamber that he created beneath the castle. Don't worry, he created, and beneath the opera.
All good villains need a torture chamber under their
like,
opera
you have
house.
your sex dungeon, but you also need your torture chamber.
There is this, like, whole long fucking thing. Like, you get a little bit of it when Patrick Wilson, like, falls into that mirror room for a second. Raoul does. But it's like a torture chamber with mirrors, and, like, it gets really hot in there. And there's also a whole other character called the Persian who knew Eric / the Phantom from his old life and is his quote unquote only friend, and, like, looks out for him, but, like, knows that he is, like, kind of evil, and so he just, like, wants to make sure he's not going to go start killing people again. Then he does. And he's the actual, like, hero character who, like, goes and, like, knows how to do stuff and save people. And Raoul is a fucking wet blanket ass, pussy ass bitch the whole book. He is so annoying. He's crying all the time because Christine has this thing with the Phantom. and he's just sobbing about it. And is so mean to her. Like Raul's pretty much always compassionate in this movie, even though it's weird. And he says gaslighty, because he's like, "Okay, crazy, you're having voices in your head," which like
he's just very dumb boy of like, okay, well, I hear that you're afraid, but I think it's probably just a woman thing. So
yeah,
I'm gonna take care of it.
yeah. So he's like that, but way worse in the book. And he's like totally useless when him and the Persian like go to save Christine, and they they can't, like he can't do anything, and the Persian knows what to do, and so he does everything. And literally Raul was like laying on the ground like, wow, the other guy is doing all the work.
You know
So
what? I relate to
he
that.
sucked so bad in the book. But then the other thing that is the craziest thing in the entire world that is not in any of the musical, I checked, it's not in the musical, it's not in the movie. But did you know that Eric, aka the Phantom of the Opera, is the creator of ventriloquism?
Tell me more.
What?
He's the there are words, the words "I am the creator of ventriloquism" are said in the book. The Persian is also like, he's the creator of ventriloquism. Like several times they say the creator of ventriloquism. I was like, what? And like half of his stuff, like when he makes Carlotta's do the frog croak thing, he like was throwing his voice or something. As part of it was that he was throwing his voice, and that's how like he can be in the walls, is that he can like, he's like a voice thrower and a ventriloquist. So like I guess ventriloquism makes sense that it's the same thing as voice throwing, because it is. But when I think of ventriloquism, I think like puppet
Dummies.
tearing, but it's also like voice throwing and stuff like that, making your voice sound like it's coming from somewhere else, which is what you're doing when you're a ventriloquist too. I thought that was the most fascinating, hilarious, silly goose thing I had ever heard of in my entire life. And so I just want you to bring that energy with you as we discuss the film. Know that that man, sexy as he is also the creator of ventriloquism. What hasn't he done for us? Sorry, it makes him a lot more sympathetic of a character to me.
That makes him more of a villain to me.
Ventriloquism is very interesting. Chelsea, it's an art form.
For villains.
For villains.
Chelsea's still
yeah.
traumatized by the boy secretly, even though he wasn't like a real ventriloquist, but it's in that same vein.
Want to talk about ventriloquism? Let's talk about Magic. 1978.
Or the
I
remake.
can't talk about Magic again. But yeah, it's so different. And I just am so glad that Andrew Lloyd Webber read this book and was like, well, first he saw the movies, actually. I guess he saw the movies and he tried to do an adaptation of the movies. And he was like, I can't get this to work. And then he finally got a copy of the book and he read the book and he's like, oh, now I can cook. And then he made, and I was like, okay. Something about that ventriloquism part really did something to him. But yeah, I didn't know that this movie, the director is Joel Schumacher, who passed away. It's so sad.
Yeah, in 2020.
And he actually wrote the screenplay for this, like starting back in like 1989. Like this musical came out in 87, right? I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
86, sorry. And yeah, he like was already starting writing this in 1989. And so he pretty crazy. What's up?
Do you know why they started working together?
Who?
Andrew Lloyd Webber and Joel Schumacher.
No, tell me.
It's because he saw The Lost Boys and he loved it so much, and the way they used music in that movie so much, that he was like, this has to be the guy to do Phantom.
This guy.
It has to be this guy.
This is him.
Yes. That is incredible. That is so incredible. What a beautiful. Wow. That's an inspiration for everything, honestly. It's The Lost Boys. Inspires me for everything that I do.
I think it informs how camp this movie is too, to think about how Joel Schumacher is the guy who did the Batman with the very over the top camp, the nipples and other such. I think his Riddler is really crazy, right?
The best Batman movies, objectively. I mean,
I love
objectively
those
they're
ones.
bad, but they're my
I was
favorite.
gonna say the
They're
worst
not
to
bad.
some, but
They're a match
Batman
to
and
me.
Robin brought us Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy and
Mhm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. Sydney and I were almost like that era of Batman for Halloween this last year. Remember when
I
we were
really
gonna do
wanted to
that?
see Adam as Mr. Freeze.
Adam was gonna be Mr. Freeze, and I was like, "How am I gonna do that?" I was really stressed out about it.
It would have been great.
Would have figured it out. Okay, it would have been great. Oh man, what a visionary! Truly a visionary man. But I love him too because I didn't get to finish it. I was really mad. I've had a very busy morning this morning, so all of my research was done in a moving vehicle. But I was watching this like making of Phantom of the Opera this morning, and it was like interviews with Joel, with the cast members, all these different things, explaining how everyone was cast, and it was so funny to see Joel's reaction to like some of the characters casting, like he had a huge fat giant crush on Patrick Wilson, like 100%. He was like, Patrick Wilson was the first person I cast. He's fantastic. He has a beautiful voice. He's very handsome, very incredibly
Not
handsome.
wrong.
There's this video of him like with his arms around Patrick Wilson, like really like chumming it up with him that they cut to. And I was like, okay, so he's in love with Patrick Wilson despite the wig. And that's really nice. And also Gerard Butler. I guess people like hate Gerard Butler in this. Is that true?
Yes.
Was that part of what you were making fun of back in 6th grade, Chelsea?
I mean, definitely part of what people don't like about this movie is they feel like Emmy Rossum and Gerard Butler can't actually perform their roles to the standards of the musical.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were like unknown actors before this, they're like, if you're gonna cast total unknowns, why not cast people who
Gerard was an
perform
unknown?
He was like
relatively
really
speaking
up and coming at this point. He hadn't done 300 yet. Like,
He
it was
hadn't done
supposed to
P.S.
be.
I love you.
It was supposed to be Hugh Jackman who was gonna play this role, but his schedule conflicted because he was doing Van Helsing.
That's
What
so
do you
funny. I saw
mean?
on IMDb trivia that it was like Anne Hathaway was gonna be Christine, but
Mhm.
then she had to be in Princess Diaries,
Diaries
2 Royal
2.
Engagement.
I saw that too. Okay, everybody should have been already obsessed with Gerard Butler because he played Dracula in Dracula 2000, which is that horrible movie that I've been trying to get you guys to do on the pod since I seen it, which makes sense. I had the same like level of an emotional response to Dracula 2000 because it's just like batshit bonkers insane. That's so funny. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That didn't necessarily pick up. And he was in Tale of the Mummy. Don't know what that is. Okay, yeah, it looks like I don't know what any of these things it are that he was in before. Well, he's in Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
But yeah, I think a lot of people do feel he was not well cast necessarily. I think this movie has taken on a cult classic status of its own, but some people are like very loyal to the book or to the previous musical, and it's like Gerard Butler is really not that old. He's 34 when they filmed this, and Patrick Wilson is 30. So it's one of those things where
And
it's
Emmy
like,
Rossum
if that's
is
part of the contrast,
17.
That's why
So-
I think they also have like no chemistry. Emmy
Speak for
Rossum
yourself.
and well, because I think it to me just proves that I almost called him Gerard Way. That's not right.
That would have been
and there's something to that.
There's something right
Maybe.
there.
Let her cook. Let her cook. But like Gerard Butler, they don't, and I think that to me just proves that he's a good guy because he's like, I can't have intense sexual chemistry with this 17-year-old.
Yeah, she was like literally 16 when they started.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Look, I get that. I totally get where people are coming from with not liking some of the vocal choices. Again, I didn't come from like seeing the musical first and being super familiar with that. But fucking Sarah Brightman is who originated Christine's character. Like she has a crazy fucking voice. When I worked in music, we did her tour, so I've met her before. She's a doll. She's a diva. She was gonna be in the movie. They're gonna make the movie in the '90s, but then I guess her and Andrew Lloyd Webber had a little falling
Divorce.
out. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot they were married. I knew that. They had that whole thing where they weren't married anymore. Yeah, that's too bad. um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like with these film adaptations, they're gonna be like more like pop vocalists instead of or rock vocalists instead of operatic vocalists because they're going for like a Hollywood version of it. So they're trying to get like Hollywood actors in there. But again, I get the frustration too because if you're saying Gerard Butler and I almost said Gerard way too
See,
now.
I'm just saying.
And Emmy Rossum were like total unknowns before this, then like fucking why put them in it? I thought she sounded pretty good. I thought he definitely had some like times where he was
He's
straining
doing like
for
shout
sure.
singing.
Yeah.
He's just flat out yelling at her.
IMDb trivia said he had like no previous musical background besides being in a rock band in like high school or something like that.
Yeah, he didn't even take any vocal lessons for this.
And Emmy Rossum is like a classically trained singer, but I think the people who felt that she was not right for this role felt like her voice was just kind of like quiet and small in a
Too
sense, which I think
pure.
works for the character. But if she's supposed to be like an up and comer to rival diva Carlotta, then it's just like a very different quality, which again, I think you can make work. It just depends on like what you're trying to do with the story.
Yeah, I agree with you there. The person who I thought was the worst singer far and away, and he was so flat the entire time, was oh god, and I every time he's in a horror movie or something we do on the pod, we guess on how to say his name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about
Kieran
then.
Hines.
He was in from
Kieran
The Woman in Black.
Ciara with an accent N Hines. He was one of the two new managers of the Opera House. He's the one with the brown hair, if that helps you, not the one with the white hair. Furman is his character's name. I love him so much. I think he is stunning and beautiful, and he was so funny in this. He was spectacular. Oh my god! I was like, stop singing, please stop singing, please stop singing. It was so flat, and I was like, maybe it's supposed to be like that because he's a comedy character or something. But it was like very noticeable to me. Everything else, I was like, whatever.
I think
Gerard
it's one
Butler
of
is so
those
sexy. I
things.
close my ears. No, I keep them
Yeah.
open and I accept what I'm hearing and I'm okay with it.
One of the things that I was like noting on my watching of this movie is I can see how I would have like found it boring in middle school because so much of it is just like standing there watching someone sing. And often in this movie they're like walking, but it's because like were this on stage musical or opera, that's what it would be. It would be someone just kind of like standing there singing. That's more the style of that art form where rather than like a traditional musical with like crazy dance numbers necessarily.
Yeah.
And so you kind of just have to like get into that artistic medium mindset more. But
Mhm.
with something like this, that's like more about the visuals of it than about the sound of it. I can see making the choice to like sacrifice a good singer for that role to have somebody with like an interesting face who's going to do something interesting with the very little amount of character that's on screen. But yeah, it does put you in these moments sometimes where it's like Minnie Driver is serving face and character crazy style, but she's not even doing the singing. They're like dubbing somebody in for that.
Okay, I was gonna ask that because I was like, no way Minnie Driver has those crazy chops like that. That's nuts. That's nuts. Oh my god, she is so incredible in this. What a fucking diva. What did
We
I
need
text
her
you
to
guys?
do like more comedy roles, quite frankly.
You needed to have watched Speechless on Freeform or whatever channel that was because that was a very fun sitcom comedy that I loved and thought was so fantastic.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
It was really good. It's like a family comedy. She's the mom, and then they have a son who's nonverbal. And he has like a communication board that he uses to speak.
Too
And
triggering for me. Can't watch.
well, he like there's a lot of, beyond that going on. I think you would still enjoy it, but I can also see what you're saying just now. But she's fantastic. I love her. And one of the only other things other than my middle school watch, and this was playing at somebody's birthday party senior year of high school. I don't know if you were there. It was Remy's birthday, Monica, and it was just like projected on a wall in the background or something.
Oh, yeah, I was there for that, but I didn't watch it.
You couldn't have fully locked in. It was not an option.
Mm-hmm.
But other than those two experiences, my only thing that I have with this movie is remembering in 2020 when Joel Schumacher died and a bunch of people were like speaking to their relationship with him, blah blah blah. Minnie Driver did this tweet that said Joel Schumacher was the funniest, chicest, most hilarious director I ever worked with. Once on set, an actress was complaining about me within earshot, how I was dreadfully over the top, parentheses, I was. Joel barely looked up from his New York Times and said, "Oh, honey, no one ever paid to see under the top." And so it's like this diva moment from her that also sparked lots of speculation about a feud with Emmy Rossum. And then they did some sort of like comedy round table video interview in a group later on where Emmy was like, I think comedy is like so much deeper than drama, blah, blah, blah. And then Emmy Rossum was like, I think they're the same, actually. And Minnie's like, so there is like feud, rumors, speculation there for sure. And I eat that drama up.
They're just, what is it, method acting their character?
Yeah, for real.
Can't
oh
step
God.
out of the role.
Yeah.
That's so fucking crazy. Oh my God. I just loved how over the top she was. I loved like her costume.
Bring me my doggy. I need my doggy.
Oh my God. Like it's so funny. All those girls on the side that are like looking out for yes. That are like
we prepped
like,
that moment ahead of time.
She had a posse before posses, you know? Like that's the first posse.
Even if they're like sticking cotton in their ears as soon as they are like, ugh, here she goes again.
Her voice is a little
I feel
thrilled
Adam
that it's
does
beautiful.
that every time he has to listen to us.
He's like, oh, they're recording tonight? Let me get my earplugs.
He literally
Adam
does.
has
Like
tinnitus after like a decade of friendship around us.
Poor
He's always
sir.
like,
what a poor sweet man.
He's such a trooper.
I'm sorry, I have to say we're gonna go right back to Minnie Driver, but I have to say this because I was the worst thing I have ever read in my life, and so you have to know about it. Apparently, Michael Jackson really wanted to be the Phantom.
I would have loved that, actually.
So I'll speak for your fucking self. That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. I can not imagine anything worse. And just think in your head about the ramifications of and the
he's the soprano.
Of that. Him as the Phantom.
The Phantom of the Opera is here. I can't go as high as he would.
Yeah, I told that to Adam,
just
and he was like,
completely different register for the Phantom.
Just
the Phantom of the Opera.
I can't imagine. Here. Unbelievable. Anyway, Minnie Driver. I don't want to talk about Michael too much. It's my birthday. It's triggering. But Minnie is so fucking funny, so gorgeous. I love her so much. And I like my favorite line of the entire fucking movie. Yes. Her little outfit when she's in the car, when she like
and
called
she hears
in
Christine's
sick.
Good and she's like, ah!
And she's got the dragonflies in her hair, and then she like fake passes out. Love her, love a diva. But when they're all trying to like convince her to come back later on in the movie, that scene one is hilarious. But two, I think it's Kieran Hines. We're gonna say that that's how you say his name for now. Comes up to him and he's like, Principesa, bella diva. And I was like, that is what I want to be referred to as from now on. So just so you know, I now respond to Principesa and also bella diva. Or all three together.
All three together is the only way to do it.
If you want my attention, you must grovel crazy style.
Use my full legal government name, okay?
Principesa, bella diva, Monica. Hey.
My diva, if my diva commands.
So fucking funny.
And she's like, she does.
She does. Oh my God. I also love the conductor of the orchestra. He is so fucking done with everyone's bullshit. I love the whole like greater cast and character here. I mean, we have Sydney's character Meg. Sydney's Meg today. She is such a little cutie pie, and I was like, God, I recognize her from something. I love her in something else. No, it's just that I love this movie. I've not seen anything else
I was
that
gonna
she
say,
has done.
I looked her up. She's been in like 6 things, and the last
Yep.
thing was in 2008.
But I did know that I knew Madame Giry. I knew her, and that's Miranda Richardson. And you might remember her from Sleepy Hollow. She was Lady Van Tessel, bad lady in Sleepy Hollow.
An evil diva.
We love to see an evil diva.
You know what I think the thing is about Meg, maybe, is she looks so much like Gabrielle from Xena. I think that's
I
part
don't know
of
that
it. Did
I
you
think
ever
she
have any
also
Xena exposure?
I don't know what you're talking about. So so no, I don't know. Are you talking about Xenon? The sequel?
No, I'm talking about Xena Warrior Princess.
Oh no, I've not watched that, but I
And I'm
have
sending
heard
you
of
a
it.
picture.
I've
of
seen
Gabrielle.
Xena Warrior Princess, but I don't know if but it's been so
Okay.
long.
Oh,
It's like that's her little girlfriend sidekick, and it's like they're gay together, but they're also not really gay together. They won't let them really be gay together, but obviously they're gay together.
obviously
She
they're
kind
gay
of looks
together.
like Melissa Joan Hart a little bit.
She does. She kind of looks like Meg in this movie in the opening costume that we see her in, combined with Melissa Joan Hart.
Combined with Melissa Joan Hart, and then also she looks like what's the lady who is an incredible actress, but the only way I can think to describe her is she's married to Marcus Mumford right now, and I'm really sorry to do it like
Is
that.
that Diana Agron from Glee?
No,
No, it's Michelle Williams, right?
Oh,
Is it Michelle Williams? Who's the other actress who's not Michelle Williams who looks like Michelle Williams?
married to Mumford and Sons? Carrie Mulligan.
Thank you. I knew it was Carrie. I think she looks like Carrie Mulligan to me too, and like Michelle, probably more like Michelle Williams, honestly. Meg. So I was really like, I was like, wow,
blonde pixie
they're
cut
blonde
for some time.
They're both blonde.
And you know what?
Hard.
Gabrielle and Xena also cut her hair short at one point, so
Gay.
just putting her back in the mix.
But yeah, I don't know. I get how problematic this movie can be, but I also feel so desperately horny when there's the one horny part, and so it's hard. I feel like this falls into a similar realm as like Twilight, where like you watch it at a young impressionable age, me the age of like 30 because I watched this 2 years ago. But like the romance part of it and the longing and the desire is so overwhelming that like you can like wash over some of the unsettling underbelly things that are going on. Like with Twilight, Edward is like very controlling and like just basically like dictates whatever Bella can do and that sort of a thing. But you're like, oh, he just cares so much. And like here, I mean, let's talk about the whole grooming part of it too, so then we can have fun. After that, then we can have fun. I do agree. When I watched this for the first time, I was like, okay, so he groomed her for her whole life, right? What were you gonna say?
Until she was
Chelsea?
8. Since she was 8.
from when she was 8 until now. It's giving Nosferatu. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. He seems like a vampire, like so much in this.
yeah, and the moment when like Meg goes down, there's that moment where they're both like singing Christine, and they're both kind of like almost converging on Christine. And she's explaining to Meg like he come it's almost like he's like a dream, like he's not real, like he comes to me and I was alone, and then he's this like comfort to me in my grief and my loneliness, and I don't necessarily think of him in like a
100%.
real physical sense that he's a real person who exists on this same plane as me and can like reach through reality. I know he controls me and what I'm allowed to do. It has these rules for me, but I think of him as like separate from reality. And then he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm a real adult man who I'm allowing you to think that I am in many ways the spirit of your father.
The angel of music.
The angel of music sent to you by your father, and also the spirit of your father in a literal sense. And I'm gonna pop up at your dad's tomb later and come out of your dad's tomb later when I feel like you're getting too far away from me, and I need to draw you back in. It's like this movie is a very daddy issues film. Because it's both
100%.
like this spirit of your dead dad who is the angel of music that your dad said he would send to you. And so it's this like comfort in your grief after your dad died and you've been sent to this opera house, versus this man who was with you in like the piece of your childhood where your dad was still alive and was like part of those happy memories and those happy times, and brings you back to this like sense of safety when you weren't alone in the world again. And it's like, which one do you choose?
It's all, you've got two options, and they are both tied to your father trauma. Just so you know, there's just those two options. God, yeah, no, it is so complicated because I was like, cause I rewatched the part in the movie where it like really like zooms in on her childhood, and it's like that like blacked out vignetted montage of like her praying down in the room. She's telling Meg about this. Um Praying for her dad, like lighting a candle for him, and that's when she'd hear the angel of music, and then she'd hear him in her dreams. And I was like, okay, was he, because my question was this, I was like, how long has he been like teaching her? There's a difference between like, for me it's still bad no matter what, but like consoling her like when she's down there, like trying to lift her spirits when she's like down there crying over her dad, that's one thing. But like the dream sleep thing, what's that about? That's weird no matter what. But like, has he been like teaching her to sing this whole time too, and influencing her that way, like literally like as like a teacher student sort of relationship? Then it gets like even more fucked up for me, because the timelines are different across all the different phantom entities that we have discussed. Like in the book, her dad is alive until she's like however old she is in this fucking book, and she like 23 or whatever, is that, if that's what we were saying earlier, I don't remember from the book exactly. And he's only been dead for like 3 months, and that's when the angel of music comes to her, because he's finally, her dad was like, I'll send him to you once I die. And then he shows up, and he's only been training her for 3 months. So that's why she's suddenly so good and can sing so well, and everyone like is like, what's her secret? So that's the book thing. But like, she's lived at the, in the movie, she's lived at the opera house since she was what, 8? Like I think we were saying she's 8.
Yeah.
And so when did the lessons start? I don't know. I don't know if I'm
He's
getting
like,
too in the
yes,
weeds
I've
with
been
it.
teaching her since she was 7, but I kept a very respectful distance until she was of marriageable age.
At 16.
I just watched her through the one-way mirrors this whole time, but I didn't go in person to visit her until now, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's so creepy, cuz like when you look at her reaction to him, it is like a woman possessed. Actually, she
My
gets
note
so
is,
horny for him that she grows black eyeshadow onto her face. She had no makeup on, and suddenly she's got sexy makeup. That's how horny she is.
Eyeshadow. That's
you
how you
said
know.
that earlier, and it's funny that you brought up Twilight, because I was like, and that's the scene where she becomes a vampire and makeup gets magically painted on her face. But one of my notes, I don't have like crazy amounts of notes, but I have a couple. One of them is Christine is in subspace when she's with the Phantom.
Yeah.
Seriously, she just has this exactly.
Her brain turns off. She is just
She's
there
like,
to be like touched softly or not
Dream.
softly, and to be moved about like a little doll at his whims.
She literally, thank you. She's just like vacant, like truly vacant. Like Emmy Rossum, I think, is a great actress.
For orgasmic pleasure.
She gives like this like cherub face. Like she's giving like cherub vacant face like 90% of the time during this movie. I think it's a very effective face she's making, and so I like that she makes it all the time. I think it's very nice and good. But like when she's singing Think of Me, she's just like it's like Give Us Nothing, girl. She's like,
right.
spare a thought for me. Like she's just like really doing nothing. And then she just is like looking at him with this awe that is like makes you feel it too as a viewer. So that was actually very effective. And I just the sequence when they go down into the caverns below the opera house for the first time, like just does fuck heavier than anything I've ever seen in my life besides the opening, because I just said that same thing about the opening. There's two moments where it fucks so crazy. Oh my god. I mean the arms of in the wall are moving. I don't know. That did something
Right.
for me. So horny the arms came alive. Okay, it's crazy. It's wild. Um but yeah, it is so murky and messy. But yeah, I think the Nosferatu parallel goes crazy. It is exactly the same thing. It
There.
almost,
And like
Oh.
Thomas is Raoul.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
In like when she's in like in the lingerie, like right when she like first comes down and stuff like that, and she has the
Yes.
She's got her
stockings
thigh garter.
and the big stockings, and then when she wakes up, she's like missing the stockings. And so a lot of
She's got a
people,
foot fetish.
Scandalous.
well, a lot of people like take that to say like they had sex and all
She'd
that
been
kind
ravaged.
of stuff and whatnot. And I think it said like Emmy Rossum in real life had an allergic reaction to the stuff, so she had to like take them off and like couldn't wear
Yeah.
them.
Unfortunately, like I get where they're coming from. That's the reality. What you just said is the reality. But like, there's
Yeah.
no, they did not fuck. Like I'm sorry if you want to think that they fucked anyone out there in the world. Have that horny thing for yourself. I love that for you. Have a great time if that makes you feel good. But like the whole thing with the end of this movie and the one smooch that changes everything. They did not
Yeah,
fuck in that
they can't be
first
fucking.
scene. That like destroys the entire plot of the rest of the film.
We've
So,
lost the
like,
plot, okay?
Yeah.
They
But-
didn't fuck, but if you want to believe that he pleasure dom style, masturbated her or whatever, I think that there's room for that in the text.
Yeah, but they weren't kissing because that would be too
They
intimate.
weren't kissing. He just was doing forced orgasms on her.
Here's the thing: some people are like that. They
Jesus
can fuck, they
Christ.
can do stuff,
That's
but
what's
they can't
happening.
kiss.
Look at her face.
She just sees him and she gets the thrall. Like he has all the powers of a vampire. But no teeth, no blood, none of that shit. No eternal beauty.
He's a siren with his
radio.
voice
Dude, yeah. There's like a thing.
and the
in the book,
underground
too.
water in his lair. That's a siren.
Yeah, okay. He is literally. And there's a part in the book where there's a thing called a siren that like if you there's booby traps if you try to go into his lair. Duh, of course. Besides the Punjab lasso that's going to get you. There's also like this thing where like there's this siren song and you go towards it and then there's like a rope that it triggers and it gets you and it pulls you underwater and it drowns you.
Nice.
So that was another part that they left out too. That's okay. It was really complicated. There's like parts where I was listening to the audiobook and I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? But also in the book, he is an architect as well. And somehow he actually like created the entire opera house. He built it. By the way, Eric
He
the Phantom
invented ventriloquism and
and
he built the opera
he built the
house.
opera house, and so he made all the catacombs underneath them, or not catacombs, but caverns or whatever, cisterns. That's what it is. And also in real life, the Paris Opera House does have water underneath it, like that. It has cisterns underneath, and that's where the firefighters
train.
Yes, yeah, that's where the firefighters learn to swim in the dark. So how interesting!
Horrifying,
like-
actually.
Y'all remember Under Paris?
Is that the shark one?
Yeah, the shark one. I don't know. Remember that part where they're like under a building and then like people fall in the water and then everybody starts getting eaten? In my mind, it's the Paris Opera House and that's the cisterns there. Like I read that today and I was like, oh yeah, it was that part in the Shark Paris movie.
It kind of made me think about As Above, So Below as well, with like the catacombs under Paris and how they're kind of like a portal to another realm, sort of. Like it's real, but also it's kind of mystical at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. Also, I didn't know how old this musical was. And so I was doing a little research. I was listening to it. I was like, this shit is crazy. The music in this movie is crazy because it's like opera, right? Not
Mhm.
100%. I'm not super familiar with like straight up opera, though I've seen a fair few. But like it's very operatic voices, whatever. But then there's like crazy shredding fucking electric guitar in the background. And then like the lyrics of this shit, like the way it's phrased and everything. I was like, this is like such a vibe. And so yes, of course this came out in the mid 80s. This is so 80s core. It's crazy. But also part of like, and maybe it's just part of the characterization of the Phantom, but part of like I should have the playlist up right now so I can list all the songs.
Oh, the soundtrack.
I love the soundtrack.
Yeah. I was listening to it earlier today. I've just been singing it all day. Yesterday I thought I could sing. Today I remember that I can't. But today I remember the truth.
I love, like what you were saying earlier, I love cleaning and putting on a musical. So I go from like Sound of Music, Hairspray is my number one go-to cleaning musical. And then this, when I say like I watch it all the time, I do actually.
Little Shop of Horrors is my
that's a good
go-to.
one.
I love singing those songs.
You guys are discounting Grease.
That's a classic.
No,
Grease
I have
2
not
honestly
seen-
is my preferred.
I've never seen Grease 2 in my life. I know.
Cried.
And I've probably
Divided.
only seen Grease once. So I would
I
love
used
to
to-
watch it again.
We got the Grease VHS tape stuck in one of my TVs in my childhood, and I was like, honestly, that's fine for me. I'll just keep watching this one VHS over and over again.
The 5 months that we
So
lived in
fucking
Boston,
funny.
we didn't have cable. And so all I could watch was PBS and the VHS of Grease that the people that we were renting the house from sing. And so like we would do the dances. And Monica, we're gonna next time I'm in town, we're having a Grease night where we're gonna watch
Down.
Grease 1 and 2.
If it's warm out, we can put it on the projector in my backyard.
Gosh, it'll be end of May.
That was my favorite movie growing up. Is that and Josie and the Pussycats?
I loved Grease.
Okay. So I brought this up, that the music lyrics and stuff up, because Music of the Night, that was a song that Gerard Butler apparently had the worst time singing. So let him, he did his best. And I still thought it was pretty good. But the lyrics of that song, one, are like describing an orgasm. It's like really crazy. They're really, it's like softly, deftly, music shall caress you. Like it's like, oh God. But also like some of the lyrics in some of his songs are very like, oh God, no, what's the Taylor Swift thing that I was saying all the time? Welcome to my darkness where it gets quite dark.
Yeah.
What's it? But what is it?
Welcome to my underworld where it gets quite dark.
Yes, welcome to my underworld where it gets quite dark. This is like, that is like, so the Phantom Core. It's crazy. It's actually his MO. He loves that part of that song. But some of the lyrics get a little like, I'm so dark and you'd never understand, which like, fair, he's had a really hard life. He has had
Okay,
a
sure.
hard life. Okay, sure, he's had a hard life.
My other cringe notes for the Phantom, just before we move on, and then he can be sexy again, is it reminds me of that Tumblr gif. I don't know if you guys are gonna be familiar, but there was that Tumblr gif. You couldn't see the guy's face because he was probably like a 16-year-old nerd, scrawny guy in a like blue button down. He's got a tie and a belt on, and he's like taking his belt off. He's like, "You here now." That is Phantom Core.
Yep.
And also that guy, he's probably also on TikTok, but I've only ever seen him on Instagram Reels, where he is like princess, and he's got the fedora, and then he claps his feet.
Yes,
Alex
I
is
love
like,
him.
hello,
princess. His feet clapping behind him.
He makes cameos, and Alex is like, I need a cameo from him immediately. And I go,
Yeah.
"Thank you, please."
So
If he could
fucking
sing
funny.
Music of the Night and clap his
Maybe
feet
that
on
will
beat.
be my cameo that I ask him to do.
Maybe he could
I'd
just
be
get in
interested in
character as
it.
the Phantom real quick.
Oh, princess.
Oh, princess. Well, it's totally, he is like also even more so in the book a little bit. He's like such a fucking ultimate incel. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy and it's so sad. I mean, he's had such a horrible life. Like in movie version, like he was literally he's born with a deformity, and then he was like in the he was a sideshow like freak show
Attraction.
kind of attraction where he's literally just being like it's not even everybody gets to look at his face that is weird and they're like wow interesting that's the sideshow thing. The sideshow was just him being beaten in within an inch of his life. I was like
He's a little
okay
freak, and you can hit him if you want.
yeah, and everyone's like yes beat the child we love that. I was like this is crazy.
Mhm.
I did love that little like journey where Madame Giry is the one who like saved him and like
Yeah.
brought him to the opera house, and so she's known about him. She basically became like an amalgamation of this mother character from the book and the Persian that I was telling you about. Like that's where her character came from, so that was interesting.
And her role is interesting here in regards to the Phantom with the Nosferatu and everything parallels to all the daddy issue stuff, because it's not just like he's being like, I'm the spirit of your father, I'm the angel of music sent by your father. It's also like he is literally at least the same age as her best friend's mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they had
And
babies
so,
pretty young there then,
yeah.
so
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like Gerard Butler could literally be her father if he had a baby at 17.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Which
it's
is
like he's
totally
not really.
possible.
It is. Look, sometimes that happens. But it is in this weird space too, where it's like she's kind of watching this adult groom this child who is literally her daughter's age, and she's kind of like I'm just gonna keep my daughter out of it, but also she knows his backstory, and I think she's just kind of like he's had a really hard life, and maybe he deserves to do whatever he wants now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's is it bad, is that for me to say? I think maybe we should just let him do what he wants.
Like he's not hurting anyone. He's making her really good at singing.
He's actually
Actually.
helping her, so I think
He's
it's
actually helping her
fine. It
career.
hasn't crossed the line yet, so I think we're okay.
And then the second he sees her perform, he's like, holy shit. And I'm going to bring you down into my nasty cavern and show you a doll I made of you that's life size. That looks exactly like you and it's wearing a wedding gown I made for you. And I bet you it's got the exact right fucking body measurements for
Well,
her.
that's
You
because
know.
it's her playing
Yeah.
the doll.
They made a doll, and apparently the eyes look fucked. Is that's what it was? The eyes
Something
looked
like that.
really messed up and fake. So they're like, let's just do that.
She's like,
That
I'll
was
just
like a
do it. I'll just be the doll.
I was like a big trivia point, and they're like they're like, oh, what that was actually Amy Ross, and I'm like, yeah, I
Yeah.
know, like, guess
Yeah,
I
I know,
could tell
because
that
I
that
thought
was
she
a
was
real
having a vision
person.
of herself. It did not even
Yeah.
occur to me at first that that was a
It was
doll
a
that she was
doll.
looking at. I was like,
Until
she's
later, I
imagining
saw it.
herself or seeing a vision of herself in like a
Yeah, I thought it
magic
was a
mirror.
mirror. I thought it was a mirror also, because he's like supposed to be like kind of
It's like a
magic.
mirror of
Like
Erised in a way.
the fight at the cemetery later, apparently in the musical, like he has fireballs. What?
I'm a fireball. Okay,
I was like,
R.I.P. Phantom, you would have loved Pitbull.
That's my
know.
man.
That's so fucking funny. That's so funny. Anyway, okay, rewind 40 years. The reason I was bringing up the lyrics to the song and the underworld, where it gets quite dark, something about like the way the Phantom talks and like the interaction between Christine and the Phantom, and just like lyrically, really reminded me of Jack Skellington and Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. And I was like, I could really see how Andrew Lloyd Webber had like influenced the way that Danny Elfman like does his music. I feel like I mean, obviously they're like very doing similar sort of things at times, but just like structurally, I was like, oh, this is so Danny Elfman core. And then I was like, oh no, Danny Elfman was
Danny
just
Elfman, of course, Andrew Lloyd Webber core.
yeah, Danny Elfman core is Andrew Lloyd Webber core, and that's like, let us not get it twisted. I don't want to say sacrilegious things on the podcast. But yeah, it is so funny. It's so cringy, but it's just so epic. Like this movie is to epic proportions. It's so beautiful. Like I saw a brief thing with the costume designer. She's like, this some movies aren't that hard. There's just like one crazy thing that happens. But she's like, this one, there's like 3 different operas in the movie, plus their normal outfits, and there's a fucking masquerade. And she's like, so this one was a little bit more intense, and like they have hundreds of extras, like all of them in period garb. Like, oh my god, it is masterful. But apparently also this is like at the time was the biggest budget indie film that had ever been released. And so I'm just wondering why this was an indie film and how this was an indie film. I don't know how to know that. But like I guess not one of the big movie houses backed it. Is that why? Like
I think Warner Brothers was going to do it and they got it back from them or something like that. And it was like $80 million to film. And then like it didn't recover the budget. It was like considered a flop.
yeah. That's a budget independent production. Yeah. How was it? Wait,
Well, Warner Brothers distributed it, so I wonder if it was one of those things where it's like they didn't want to financially back it ahead of time, but then like once they were like, this could be a hit, they decided to put it out, and then it had mixed critical response, let's say, for now.
Yeah.
But
I guess
it
has
it's so
pacing issues, but
yeah.
no, it doesn't. It's perfect. I fell asleep, but that's not the movie's fault, of course. We all 3 of us fell asleep, but it's not the movie's fault.
You're not allowed to start watching it before it's dark out, and then once it's dark out and it takes another 2.5 hours to finish the movie, it's like, and like we said, it wants you to take a movie watching supplement of some kind to fully just like immerse yourself, but that also adds to the sleepiness challenge.
The sleepiness challenge. Yeah, no, really, honestly, like I might need you guys to like explain more to me what happens at the end because I fell asleep and I was like, I fell asleep. I woke up. I looked at what was happening and I was like, I just missed the chandelier falling. I just missed the whole climax of the whole fucking thing. And so I had to rewind. And we got there. But we were fighting a little bit towards the end. But what was I gonna say? My brain turned off. I think somebody else.
Okay, the ending. Like the whole.
Oh wait, no. Can we talk about the masquerade ball before we talk about the end?
Ah, yes, your favorite part.
We have to talk about the masquerade ball. Sorry. I'm wearing my masquerade earrings.
Masquerade!
Masquerade! That sounds fun. And they're all like doing that like very slow like masquerade.
Yeah.
I love it so much. And there was all those cute little like Pierrot clown outfits.
Yeah.
I was like, Sydney, do you like those?
I love.
IMDb trivia said that there was also a pair in cat masks at the top of the stairs doing a pose from Cats, another Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. So they were able to do some fun Easter eggs in there.
Okay, when are we gonna do Cats as a horror movie?
Never. I cannot. I've never watched the movie because I've
never seen the movie. I remember
I saw the play.
My parents, like, I loved theater and musicals and stuff. And so we went and did Cats, and Mark walked out, like, not even in intermission, and was just like, I'm going to the bar down the street. I'll come back.
Be here.
I'll come back and hang out with you during intermission, and then you can go back. So a nice old lady, like, sat with me.
Dude,
you're gonna be fine. I can't be here.
We had 2 friends in high school who were fucking obsessed with it. Like they were really good at makeup. So they had the whole Cats outfit, would dress up like they looked as good as if they could be on stage. Like they did a really good job with the makeup. They'd go to the musical at the Pantages, stand out front. People would take pictures with them. And so I was like, this must fucking rock because they care about it so much and they're so like they've gotten so into it. So me and my cousin Kiki went with my mom and dad. And we go and we see them at the front and we're like, wow, you guys look amazing. They're like, oh, it's gonna be so fun. Hell yeah. We get in there. Like 30 minutes in, there's like been already 15 reprises of what's the one really good song in Cats? There's only one.
Memories.
They sing Memories.
In the
Yeah, the moonlight, which I
They
like
sing
to
it
say
40 times.
memories, and I was singing
They-
about beautiful breasts.
As you
That's
should.
so funny. That's beautiful. I would like that better. If they did one rendition where it's a little bit different, but they sing it like 14 different times. I was like, that's the only good song. Jellicle Cat, I can't do it. Kiki and I were looking at each other. We're like, we can't get out because we're on the floor level and we're directly in the middle of the row. And we're like, we can't escape. We can't even escape. We're trapped in here. I felt like I was being waterboarded. So
You
no,
know who loves cats and listens to cats to calm down? Allegedly,
No.
Donald J. Trump.
That makes me like him even less.
Everyone who's like he should have just been a drag queen, Broadway obsessed older gay
Diva?
man.
Yeah.
It could have really worked for him if he'd gone a separate direction.
I just don't even know what to do with that information, Chelsea. That like rocked me to my core. I really am upset.
Loves it, allegedly.
Well, good
Yeah,
for
yes.
him. God damn it. That's so embarrassing for Andrew Lloyd Webber. It's a dark mark on his storied career. I mean, in more ways than one. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Allegedly, staffers would play it to calm him down during his first term. So put
memories. Just imagine him being like,
and you know, there's war now, girl, so you know he's got it on repeat.
oh,
Ugh.
oh my God. Okay, I'm just
Moving on.
the
Anyway,
masquerade. Anyway, the masquerade. I think that the Phantom's outfit's really hot and sexy in that I like his skull mask. In the book, this part is so fucking confusing too, so I'm glad they simplified it a little bit. In the book, they make the Phantom like steals Christine Daae for like hella long, like 2 weeks. She's gone missing. And then she like proves that like she would come back to him even though she knows what he looks like. And he's like, okay, well, you have to wear this ring, and gives her a ring, like an engagement ring. And then she like is still like coming back to him or whatever. And then Raul's like, I want to marry you. He's crying all the time, being a bitch, whatever. And then they decide, like, oh, let's just like pretend to be engaged. Her and Raul pretend to be engaged. And they just like hang out on like the roof and like high up in the opera house. So Eric can't get him. Eric the Phantom can't get him.
he lives in the
And
basement. He doesn't know what's going on in the
he
attic.
can't go up
In the
there.
roof.
Of course, he can't go up there. Of course. And so they're just like playing at being engaged all the time. And then, but she's wearing the ring for the Phantom. And then she's like, Raul, you're going to have to leave. Raul's supposed to leave on like an excursion in 2 weeks. And he's just going to like leave her and she's going to be with the Phantom. It's like so fucking messy. It's such a mess. It's so messy. And none of this is through Christine's eyes. So you have no idea what's going on. It's like through Raul or through the detective. Anyway, I think you should read it. But it's like, I would love a woman's touch. But one thing that is good about it, like, I think that Christine is like a more, shockingly, of a feminist character in that book because she's being like, Raul, fuck off. I'm doing what I want to do. And she tells him, like, she's like telling the dudes what's what. But then she's also put in this like crazy, precarious situation because, like, in this movie, she's has to decide, like, save Raul or let him die and be free. In the book, it's you have to marry the Phantom and then not kill yourself right afterwards. You have to promise to not kill yourself.
Yeah, make that part
No
of the terms.
joke.
The marriage is not enough. You do need to stay alive for the rest of it.
You can't kill
literally-
yourself.
She
I
says,
want to get
I
married, but I also
promise.
want to have marriage.
She's like, I promise I won't kill myself if you do this one thing. And the one thing was not blow up the entire opera house with a bomb. So she literally
Yeah.
has to like be like, I'll marry you and I won't kill myself, and then just like, please do not blow everyone up. And then
Which
he
they
doesn't.
kind of get into in this movie, in the sense that even before Raoul comes to like save her and gets, tied up like this by the Phantom, uh, even before that part, she's being like, "Girl, you kill people. That's bad." And he's like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
but you don't get it. Like, people are rude. So this is what happens."
he killed the guy from fucking Pirates of the Caribbean.
He
Yeah.
looks like he would be in Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's Bouquet. Bouquet, that guy at the beginning who's like the peeping Tom, and he's also like talking shit and pretending to be. He's the first guy who gets strung up. He like they throw his body down like in the middle of one of the performances or something. That guy is one of the two main pirates who's like the guy with the no eye, and that's him. Not the
Mm.
guy with no eye, the other one. That's
But
that
they're like
same
the two
actor.
besties.
The two besties that are like the comic relief for, well, besides everybody else. The first Pirates of the Caribbean is very funny. Everyone's pretty funny.
They're
But
like
yeah,
the Statler and Waldorf.
yeah, exactly. But I love. Okay, this is where my big argument comes in. This is huge. And it's gonna involve maybe spoiling what we do next week, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You can go. I don't know. But this second half of this movie, where we have the Phantom, he has presented us with the copy of Don Juan's Triumph, his beautiful magnum opus that he has been working on for some time.
And
And
a
he's like,
diorama.
he made a diorama. He's like, you must perform this. It's going to be amazing. Christine Daae is going to be the main person there. And they formulate this plot. Raoul formulates this plot where she's basically using his love as bait, and they're gonna do this big performance in a big auditorium, and it's all a trap to catch a man who is a serial killer. Does this sound like anything to you? Does this sound similar at all to anything that you've ever heard of before in your life? I was watching it and I was like, the second half of Phantom of the Opera is literally trap.
It's a good lead-in. It's a good lead-in.
Well,
It's literally the
actually,
exact same.
Trapped is just the second half of Phantom of the Opera, not the other way around.
100%. Oh yeah, I mean, cart before the horse here. Definitely M. Night was, but I love that M. Night was so inspired. But I thought that was super funny, but also like poor Christine having to put her life on the line all the time. And also like apparently she's supposed to have just realized that she's been singing with the Phantom instead of what's his name? Piaget or whatever, the other
Pianji. Or something
Pianji,
like that,
sorry. I think
I don't
you're
know.
right.
That's
I
how
think
it's
you're right.
spelled.
Well, then that's how it's said. That's as good as we're gonna get.
Yeah.
That's how it works here.
It's Pianji. That's 100% that's Pianji. But like, how does she not know that she's singing with the Phantom? She knows.
Well, IMDb trivia said that there's a moment in the movie where the Phantom leaves a note for that guy where he's saying, "You have to lose weight." And that's like one of the directions that he gives them. And it's so he'd be able to switch places with Piaget in that role later while going more undetected than he would otherwise.
Oh,
So they need to have, he's saying, like, you need to
like
change
getting
your
in the
body
weeds
shape.
there.
You need to get swole so that I can, like, step in and people won't notice right away, at least, until we're already in the middle of it on stage and there's no getting around it.
Yeah. Because, okay, they change when the chandelier thing happens in the movie, right? Compared to the musical.
Yeah, it's like the end of Act 1 in the musical.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. I was still awake for all of Act 1. And I remember the chandelier comes down, and I was like, whoa. And then I was like, well, that part already happened. I'm asleep all of Act 2. Yeah, I guess that probably pissed off a lot of people too, changing when like the big thing happens.
But I think again, it's one of those things in terms of an adaptation where it's like you can't have a completely faithful adaptation to a new medium because things worked. It works in the musical to close act 1 because then you're like, this big climactic moment happens and we leave you like on this upswing waiting to come back for more. If they did it in the middle of a movie that doesn't have like a set break in that way, then they're just like using their big set piece early instead of putting it at like the climax of the film. Like it just makes structurally the way things work are going to be different.
Totally, totally. I think, that's you're expecting a feature film to like, move towards its biggest moment, and that's like the most grandiose, crazy thing that happens. That chandelier was built entirely by Swarovski. Cannot say that word, so sorry. It was 2 tons or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had like a stunt double of the chandelier for when it had to do big crazy shit. Because obviously
Classic.
they're not gonna like crash the like $1 billion crystal chandelier.
They
That
had
like
3 chandeliers apparently. One
oh
that was
cool.
wired for electricity in the beginning, one that was their candle chandelier, and then that one that was the stunt double chandelier.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Also like the fucking product placement for Swarovski.
Swarovski?
Swarovski? Oh, I don't fucking know. I have no fucking clue how to say that word. I just try to never say it. So now I've said it twice and that's it. But the product placement went crazy. It was all over the place. But beautiful work. Beautiful, stunning work.
Honestly,
Also, okay.
the star of the show.
I agree. The ring that she wears around her neck, Raul gives that to her, right?
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
And then the Phantom steals it.
She gives it, like he snatches it, and at the end, she gives it to him.
Gives it to him. Okay. Raul's probably pissed about that, but I guess
I think
the
he's
only
like, you
thing
know
she
what?
had on her to give him as a token.
Well, and also too, he was like, you know what? That saved my life, and I get the girl. It's a fair trade-off. And it comes back at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think with the context of the end, you can kind of interpret that after they get away, Raul kind of has like a grudging respect for the Phantom in terms of like you didn't have to let us go. You said you were gonna kill at least one of us, basically. You were either gonna kill one of us and let the other go, or you were gonna let one of us go and keep the other hostage for the rest of her life. But
not great.
kindness touched your heart. And so, because of your love for Christine, which I can relate to, I also love Christine, you chose to let her go have a happy life with me. So I can respect that you still loved her and like longed for her.
Yeah.
Once you chose to be kind about it, even if it took you kind of a journey to get there.
I am just gagged by the fact that like a hot, sexy makeout, his first one in his life, made him be like, human kindness is real and I have been changed. It was true love's kiss in a way.
It was true love's kiss. I think it makes a lot of sense that it's like he starts focusing on Christine when she is this young, innocent child, kind of like when he first met Madame Giray and she helped saved him. It's like, this is the only kind of person who could ever like see me and think I am deserving of kindness in any capacity. But then Christine grows up, and as much as he has like control over her, she's still a part of the outside world, not his inside world. And I think that that is to some degree what enables him to be cruel to her and controlling over her, is because she like doesn't fully exist as a realized person to him until this moment with the kiss where she didn't have to do this, but she's choosing to come to him knowing everything and still going, I will also give kindness to you. And so it's like, if she wouldn't just wholly spurn him, even knowing everything that she knows, his face aside, it's like they've already gotten through that as a barrier. He thinks like, I'm too ugly to even be looked upon. I have to hide in the sewers for the rest of my life. If I'm gonna have to be in the sewers for the rest of my life, I am gonna make beautiful art, and I am gonna be directing this show from afar. And I want, by the way, Carlotta and Christine, they have to kiss, and I want Carlotta to be dressed as a boy.
And also,
and
you've got to
That was
pay me a
crazy.
lot of money every
and
month.
also
crazy.
I've got a
$20,000
salary.
Yeah,
Adam
where's
was
my
like
money, girl?
really caught up on that shit. He was
Yeah.
like, what does he use the money for? Like, why does he want the money? Where does the money go? I was like, I don't know, to buy shit.
To make
to,
his
like, have
dioramas.
Yeah,
Like,
for
to
a
have,
wax
like,
doll.
You think
Okay.
that
all
tiny
of those trinkets
miniature
are for free?
chandelier pays for itself?
He needs
Exactly.
cakeware, okay?
He's wearing out those lassos day in, day out. Rope is expensive.
Who
Mhm.
are
He
we
needs
to ask
thousands
him
of
what
dollars.
he needs?
But it's like, even though he loves Christine and is like so focused on her, it's like he doesn't believe that she could ever like willingly give him kindness if she had a choice in it. She's only
Mhm.
ever doing it because he is like literally holding her hostage
Yeah.
until that moment. And then it's like, okay, you're capable of compassion and kindness, and you have a sweet heart. And because I'm forced to recognize this within you, I can't be cruel to you and like
Mhm.
cause you misery in the same way. Before I was like, why do you deserve to be happy? To like, you should be miserable the same way that I'm miserable. And then it's like, she's willing to be sweet to him, and he's like,
Mhm.
he can't bear to treat her the way he's been treating her after that.
100%. He's like, he like finally recognizes like her personhood, and it's just like, okay, you can't hold someone hostage. That's not gonna be that like he was held hostage as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that scene is
It's
even.
very, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Finish what you're gonna say.
It feels very like, another one of my reference points is Hades and Persephone. Like, it feels very much like a Hades and a Persephone romance in many ways. Lots of people
Yeah.
look at that stories in different ways, but in the sense of like, you have to come down to the underworld with me for 6 months out of the year, but then for the other 6 months I like release you to go be with your family and people who love
Mhm.
you and out in the sunshine and around the flowers. It feels very like, I do love you and I want you, but also I recognize like, you don't
You
belong
must.
solely to
You
me
don't.
in this
Yeah.
dark where I am.
You don't.
God, I love a Hades and Persephone telling.
Yeah.
I will read every single one of them.
I would love to read a book on that. That
Welcome
would be.
to my underworld where it gets quite dark.
It literally.
Mhm.
It like. I'm sorry to bring that up again, but like, it's right there on the page. I don't
It's
know what
right
to
there.
tell
It's
you.
obvious.
In the book, it's all the more dramatic and sad because he gets that kiss, and it's not even like a kiss on the mouth. It's like a kiss on. He kisses her on the forehead, and then she kisses him on the forehead,
They're
and then
using tongue in
Tender.
this movie.
and he like runs to he tells someone about this first person, so you get it from the Phantom's mouth, like not in the moment but after the fact. And the Phantom is like he's like, this is the first time that I have ever received a kiss in my entire life because my mother would run from me when I was a child because she was so repulsed by me. She would like throw me my mask to cover my face and never did her lips like touch my face at any time. So it's like
Oh, you thought Christine
so
had daddy issues? Actually, this is
horrific.
about my
Mommy
issues.
The Phantom's
issues.
mommy issues. And then the end is totally different too. In the end, he like lets them all go, and Christine and Raul are getting like engaged and blah 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 blah. But he's like, I'm going to die. Eric slash the Phantom is like, I'm going to die from love. He's like, I love her so much that it's going to kill me, and I'm gonna die soon. And all I ask is that when I do die, like you come back and like, I don't know if it's give him the ring, or I think it's like bury him with the ring that she got from the Phantom. Like I said, in the book version, he gives her a ring, not Raul giving the ring. And it ends with him dying and she comes back and she does whatever he had asked and like make sure that he's buried someplace that no one knows. And then it's announced in the newspaper that Eric is dead. And I'm like, okay, I guess he's a well-known man about town now all of a sudden.
He's the architect of the opera theater, the creator of ventriloquism.
Creator of ventriloquism.
He's an artistic hero and also the famed opera ghost.
Yeah. Everybody knows
the OG.
Eric with
they
a
call
K.
him like OG or something at one point in this movie for opera ghost. I think they do.
OG. That's what
That's
OG
where
stands
OG
for.
stands for.
It doesn't sound for original
Opera
gangster.
ghost.
It's opera ghost. That's so funny. But yeah, that's why this ending was so interesting to me. I don't know how it parallels what happens in the musical, but like from the book, it's so different. And I also was pissed off because I was like, why all these men outliving beautiful Christine Daae? This is not the business. But I do love, though it is tragic and fucked up, like I do love that like his entire life, her entire life, the Phantom has continued to love her even though he lost her and like returns her ring to her all those years later. Like it's gorgeously fucked up and I cried a little bit.
Another one of my touch points that I feel is kind of related to this moment is that it feels a little bit like Wuthering Heights if Heathcliff was split into two, both like the mean, horrible monster who will walk you on a leash and this like idea of childhood love. It's like these two things.
Yeah.
And so it's with, I mean, not that the Emerald Fennel Wuthering Heights, I've never read the book. That's my only exposure to Wuthering Heights. But this idea of like at the end, at the death, again, don't come for me in terms of the novel because I haven't read it. But in the movie, it's like this pure love, even if it could never have fully been realized. It existed and it was there. And even if they couldn't have it, it still was important.
Yeah, no, totally. A lot of parallels there from these like great works of Gothic literature. So I just, another reminder to read more Gothic stuff, Monica, because I fucked with it. I guess I have to read Wuthering Heights now. But I wanted to watch the movie first so I could have fun.
Yeah.
And not be upset. And I did have fun and I wasn't upset.
I read it beforehand. Again, I have a literal tattoo.
Oh my God. Yeah, you just got that. It looks so good, dude.
What can I say?
That décolletage.
And I fucking loved the movie. So all the haters are annoying.
Open your mind to adaptation, babes.
Just
the
like
world gets better.
Have some fun. And also,
I stand
by the fact that the movie is just based off of Kathy's point of view, because the book is told by like Nellie and like other people's point of view, and the movie that's straight from Kathy's head. It's how she sees everything.
Yeah.
And that bitch was whack, so it makes sense.
So it actually scares.
Yeah, it's giving.
Okay, before we move on, I have a couple other notes about this movie. Another one of my touch points is Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon.
Dead.
Especially when Eric like throws his cloak and then disappears. Like that is extremely Tuxedo Mask. The way he just like comes in to save her from things and then is like, and now I'm away. And also sometimes he comes in and he's like, you're welcome. And she's like, you didn't. There's that meme of Tuxedo Mask where he's like, you're welcome. And she's like, but you didn't do anything. And then he just like turns his cloak and disappears.
That's so funny.
And another thing that I was thinking about watching this movie was, and I've said this before, but when we covered Suspiria on this podcast, I just wasn't prepared, I guess, at that time to fully lock in. But then I took a movie watching supplement and I saw Suspiria on a big screen in an old Hollywood theater. And it was one of those things where it's just like, that is the way to
It
do
should
it
be
because it really adds to that like live theater experience that so matches the movie's vibe
Mhm.
about like a ballet. And that's the same thing here. Is it just like it's a movie, but it still has this very like live theater vibe to it where it does feel very operatic still, even though it's like a movie musical now. It really like retains that energy, and even though it's adapted to be a movie, it feels in many ways still like that like park and bark aspect of opera where somebody is just like planting themselves on stage and then just like doing crazy vocalisms instead of, they don't need to bring in all of these other elements. What you're here for is like just to hear them sing, and
Mhm.
they'll stand there, and as long as they're in a beautiful costume and a beautiful set, like that's enough. Like you don't need more engagement than that. And I think now that I'm older, watching this movie and seeing that it feels like an opera still is very like crucial to the DNA of the movie.
Totally.
I need Senespia to do like a special thing at like
That would
that
rock
fancy
so
theater.
hard.
You know what
Oh,
I mean? Like where
yeah.
like
Yeah. One of
Where
the
we saw
beautiful
Dracula or
ones in
something.
downtown.
yeah,
Yeah.
and where they have people like dress up and then they have a masquerade.
That'd be fun.
Masquerade.
I have a vision, okay? Senespia, call me.
Sinespia
Synespia,
did the
make it
Suspiria one I went to,
happen.
so I know
See
they're
what I'm
capable.
saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my god.
I have a
That
vision.
vampire ball was so fun. That Synespia did. Ugh. It got worse when I
Masquerade.
went to the Rosemary's Baby one. That one wasn't as good. It's in a different theater. So that wasn't quite so grandiose. But I really would love for them to bring something like that back.
Mhm.
Did you have another touch point before we move into segments, Cheeto?
I don't have another touch point. I just have one more thought. And that'll kind of lead us into our first segment, I think,
Okay.
because I think this movie really gets pared down to Raoul versus the Phantom and a choose your own like love story there. Do
Adventure.
you like, yeah, like what are you looking for in terms of your fantasy romance? Like, do you want the knight in shining armor who comes to save you, or do you want more of like a Beauty and the Beast style romance of like this domineering man whose heart can only be kind for you kind of thing?
Yeah.
And I think an overlooked option is Meg, her best friend who's in love with her. And so I think you should be able to like play this as a video game or watch this as a movie or something where it is a choose your own adventure and you get to choose who she ends up with. That like there should be some sort of choose your own adventure version of Phantom of
Yeah.
the Opera.
I
Write it,
agree.
Chelsea.
Because how could this movie be gayer? It's already like Meg's longing is very palpable.
And then she's
I know.
wearing pants at the end when she's coming to save her. Okay, butch queen.
Okay, Butch Queen. And then also we have Christine Daae playing the page boy and macking on Minnie Driver as Carlotta. Like,
Mhm.
okay,
And that is not the
saw that.
Phantom's cast. He's like, actually, I want Carlotta to be the boy, and I still need you guys to kiss.
But they have to kiss still.
But
I
you
want to
still
see
have
it.
to kiss.
But you shut the fuck up. You need to be quiet. I don't want to hear a peep from you. And you have to be a boy, but then kiss her.
I see you going like this. I need you to go like this.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying
The
to
Phantom
Carlotta
is
at
so
all
funny to
times.
me in this movie because he's like, I wrote you a letter. I asked nicely.
Yeah.
But if you need me to make a scene, I'm gonna make a fucking scene. Like I
I'm
asked
gonna
you
lasso
nicely.
your
But
fucking
if you,
ass if you don't get
this
your
is what
shit
you
together.
want from me? You want me to be crazy? Okay.
You want me to be fucking crazy right now? I'll get you fucking crazy right now.
Oh, this is what you want. Like
See me murdering you right now? You did this to yourself because you didn't listen to my beautiful letter.
Look, I
With
tried
his
dropping
little, like,
things on
cunty
Carlotta
ass skull thing.
I dropped 4,000 things on Carlotta to get her off stage. And if that's not going to work for you guys, fine. I'll poison her voice. Fine.
I'll do something else.
I'll go there. You need me to go there? I'll go there.
And if we're
Yeah,
in the
'cause-
book AU, I'm gonna ventriloquist her ass so bad that she's gonna think she can't sing and she's gonna quit. So crazy.
But yeah,
Also,
him
like,
making them kiss, that was definitely one of my notes for how could it be gayer. I was like, that's interesting.
that'd
That's
be so
interesting.
gay.
I think the
Also,
Phantom and Raoul need to be more open-minded, and they could all be in a throuple.
What if they come down to the sewers once a year for a little sex vacation?
Yeah,
exactly.
I
He's
think he'd be
got
chill with
a lot
that.
of red velvet down there. It's a very sexy vibe. Okay, we love a
Raoul
little
sit in
water
the cuck
feature.
chair. It's fine.
Yeah,
Open
he
your
could be
mind,
tied up
Raoul.
still sexily in the water.
No, don't touch Christine.
I have bad respect for Patrick Wilson though, like because of this movie, not for any other thing that he's ever worked on. But this one really was redemption for me, and it came first, so I was like, okay. Also, apparently, it's like done stuff on the stage, so that's like why Joel Schumacher.
Yeah,
That's why Joel was like, my husband, Patrick Wilson. We already know he's wonderful. So we're giving him the role right away. That's not what his voice sounds like at all. So sorry about that.
Well, it could. We don't know.
We could. Well, I do know because I watched a video of him talking earlier today, but
And have you
couldn't.
seen him every time that he was talking ever, or just that one moment?
I'm sure he's done that voice one time.
Mm-hmm,
I'm sure. Okay. Any other gay thoughts we'd like to share?
so many more gay thoughts.
All right, Matthew Lillard. Where is he going in here? He actually in 2004 would have been a wonderful Raoul.
Yeah,
He would have been amazing, and he would have grown his hair out for the role. Because I just was listening to his career retrospective that he did with E News, which you should watch. It's a very fun video, and he was talking about how I can't remember what movie it was for. It wasn't SLC Punk. Hackers. He like got gauged earrings for that movie and did it authentically, and they're like, you don't have to, and he's like, no, I need to live this. So
No,
he
I
would have
must.
lived this role, and he wouldn't have had a terrible wig. He would have done the deed.
he would have grown out his hair.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought it would be very fun for him to be that stagehand that is like chasing after the Phantom and then gets hung.
Bouquet, the
Yeah.
guy from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I think that would be a great spot for our boy Maddie Lily. Hi, Maddie Lily.
Hi, Maddie.
Hi, Maddie.
Hi.
What's also interesting is he's the same age as Gerard Butler. So he's the exact same, 2 months younger, but the exact same age as the Phantom in this movie. So I think that you could put him in the Phantom position as well, potentially. And I would
He
like
could bring that darkness. He knows about his
Yeah.
underworld where it gets quite dark.
Quite
He's
dark.
very aware.
and he looks like he would invent ventriloquism. So I just really I see that for him.
Hmm. I see that. He could definitely be like, I made this joke yesterday when I was in a creative space.
When I was in a creative
And
flow.
I was like, I'm gonna say this joke on the podcast because it's gonna go so crazy.
The bitch is gonna love this.
I love when there's build up for the joke.
But I couldn't figure out how to work it in. But the joke was like, I was gonna figure out how to say, I don't think the Phantom, the creator of ventriloquism, would like that very much. I couldn't figure out a way to do it seamlessly.
When the
So there it
moment
is,
for it.
right there. There it is. And you can just take that sound bite and you can put it in different parts of the episode if you think there was a time that I missed. So thank you.
Just another quick role for Matthew Lillard. I think time traveling Matthew Lillard of today. I feel like this could be one of those roles where they usually like cast a woman to play a woman in the movie, but sometimes on Broadway they have it's a like a drag moment.
Like
And I
John
think-
Travolta and
Yeah.
Hairspray.
I think, or Mary Sunshine in Chicago is usually a drag moment, and I could really see Matthew Lillard being a very beautiful Carlotta,
Oh,
where he would really get to be so
Masquerade.
like big and over the top and being like, "Where's my doggy? Bring me my doggy!" Like, I think that he would have that would be the moment for him to be like as camp as possible to his fullest potential.
I could see myself saying to him, Principesa Bella Diva.
Diva.
So,
Okay, but that's my Principesa Bella
Isabella
Diva.
Diva.
yeah, 100%. Okay, love that. That brings us to dumb bitch. Woof. It's hard. It's hard because I think that it's got to be the new owners of the opera because they're so stupid and they won't listen to kindly written, beautifully eloquently said letters that are
Demands.
making reasonable requests. Let's not
All
say
I'm
demands.
asking for is that you leave my box open and you give me $12,000 and you do everything that I say.
Yeah, I'm actually the manager of the opera. I don't know if you know this. I constructed it
this
myself.
bitch.
I'm an architect. Not in
I don't know
this
if you know
universe.
this, but I invented ventriloquism.
I
So
don't know if you know
I'm
this,
just
but
gonna
in an
need you to put a
alternate
little more respect on my
universe,
name.
I am an architect and a scholar and the creator of ventriloquism.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Madame Giry
Mm-hmm.
because she is like fully supporting the grooming in this movie.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she is like facilitating the grooming and she's like, Meg, I need you to be nowhere near this. I don't want this to happen to you.
Yeah,
But-
that's how you really know she knows it's bad because every time Meg tries to be like, what's going on with Christine? She's like, just don't look.
Don't
just turn
ask.
away.
Don't
Don't
look. I'm
look over
pimping
there.
out my pseudo daughter to the
Yes.
Phantom of the Opera, the creator of ventriloquism.
The architect.
I can't believe he's the creator of ventriloquism. I want to, like, it's illegal to play an audiobook, but I wish that I could just like get that soundbite and be like, just like a man saying that into your ear. Like, it was the biggest surprise of my life. So fucking funny. Oh my god. Okay. I feel like that's good for dumb bitches. All right, time for knives out of fives.
Okay, knives out of
What do people
fives.
think?
Like I said, I think this movie has kind of reached cult classic status,
Agree.
but it has a mixed critical reception. So on IMDb, this movie has a 7.2 out of 10. And that's as rated by, average users who come onto IMDb. And then on Rotten Tomatoes, this movie has 32% from critics, which is crazy.
Tomato,
rotten.
tomato.
And then it has 84% from audiences, which is very fresh. And so you can see it kind of runs the gamut there.
It's divisive.
Wow.
It's divisive. But it also it did do the awards circuit as well. So at the 2005 Golden Globes, for example, it was nominated for Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture, Comedy, or Musical for Emmy Rossum. It was nominated for Best Original Song Motion Picture for Learn to Be Lonely, which I think I read online is played over the credits, but it is like an ensemble song, and Minnie Driver actually does sing on that one.
Oh, cool.
And it was also nominated for Best Motion Picture, Comedy, or Musical. Like I said, kind of mixed, 32% rotten from critics on Rotten Tomatoes, but at the 2005 Critics' Choice Awards, they did nominate it for Best Picture, and it did win for Best Young Actress for Emmy Rossum. And then,
did you just say? Wait, keep going. Never mind.
And then at the 2005 Oscars,
I knew you were gonna say it next.
I was getting to the Oscars. At the Oscars, it was nominated for Best Achievement in Cinematography, Best Achievement in Art Direction, and again, for the Learn to Be Lonely song, it was nominated for Best Achievement in Music Written for Motion Pictures Original Songs. So that was one. There's a lot of original songs composed by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Even Andrew Lloyd Webber composed a lot of new music for the movie musical, and some of that inspired him to go do a sequel actually for the musical to Phantom of the Opera that came out in 2010. And my friend was telling me about that earlier this morning because I was like, girl, I'm watching Phantom of the Opera and it's crazy.
It's apparently more intense.
Yeah, she's like, do you want me to tell you all the plot points? And I was like, yes, I think I do.
Actually, I do.
And Christine and the Phantom do be fucking in that one. There's a whole song about it apparently where it's like, and we fucked, and we fucked, and we fucked, and we fucked, and we fucked. So they're having marathon sexcapades.
Now we gotta
watch it. God damn it.
But yeah, you have to look up a slide tutorial for that later.
I love that the second one is just Andrew Lloyd Webber's fanfic of the first one that he also wrote.
And he brings Meg back in that one. And apparently she's obsessed with the Phantom. I reject it. I think she's still obsessed with Christian. And I'm
Is
She
also
wants to be their third.
yeah. I can't tell who it's supposed to be. Is the woman at the end who's like at the auction with Raoul when Raoul is old? Is that supposed to be Meg or Meg's mom? I
It's
think it's
Meg's
supposed to be
mom, I
Meg's
think.
mom,
Yeah.
but I'm like, she would look a lot older. She should be Meg.
No, that's
And the two
Madam
of them
Julie.
Meg's
reunited
mom,
once
because
again
it's that
because of their
actress for
love.
sure.
Maybe she
I
grows up with
thought
her
it would make
mom.
more
Think
sense
about
that it
that.
would be Meg, but it's definitely
Yeah.
Meg's mom actress. So yeah. Anyway, okay, who's feeling ready to speak truth to power right
I'll
now?
go. I fucking love this movie. This is a 5 out of 5 for me. The critics are wrong. The people
They've
have
been wrong
spoken,
before.
and honestly, the people are a little wrong because 80 whatever is too low. Like
100.
they didn't see the vision from the jump like I did. 14-year-old Sydney saw the vision. She knew what this was. I've heard people bitch about like lighting and how it felt. Serious, I don't give a shit. I do not fucking care. The music slaps, even though I do think Emmy Rosin is like auto-tuned the entire time because she's naturally an alto and having to sing soprano songs. I don't give a fuck.
But
I
she
do
was in
crazy.
children's choir, Sydney.
Yeah, I do not give a fuck. Like, this movie gives me everything that I want. Hands on walls, BDSM undertones, uh, Gerard Butler, who's supposed to be the ugliest person you've ever seen, only looking vaguely unsexy. It's like that meme where it's like that really attractive guy and he just has like a little cut on his face and he's like, "Don't look at me, I'm hideous." But like, this movie is so fun. And it's so rewatchable and it's so perfect. Although I do want Guillermo del Toro to remake it.
We haven't even talked about that yet. Oh my god.
Or what, like Robert
Robert
like,
Eggers?
Yeah, like he could
No,
do
well, okay, you know it's on like Donkey Kong.
He wants to. I
No, Guillermo's doing it. That's his next project. Yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
It's been confirmed?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check, but I I can never spell his name.
I know.
I can never spell the name Guillermo. Oh my
You
god,
know?
I never know where the E is.
I struggle with spelling in general, and that one's one of those where I just have to speak it into my phone so it spells it for me.
Well, he's been talking about it a lot in the last like 6 months that that's what he's thinking about doing.
I know
next. So I
he's
guess
like
it's not
talked
confirmed.
about
Confirmed.
wanting to, and hopefully the man has a mission.
Yeah, because like it was like on the red carpet, like for Frankenstein stuff. They're like, "What would you want to do?" And he was like, "Phantom of the Opera." So
And everybody wants him
hopefully-
to do it. Give this man a budget.
seriously. Do you want to go next, Chelsea, or do you want me to?
I'll go next. Like I said, I was really dreading doing this movie, and I was really scared that I was gonna only have hater vibes and that I was gonna have to pretend to be having a fun time for the sake of Monica's birthday episode. But I did actually have a fun time, which was, I love to have fun, and
It was
also what a
shocking.
relief. That said, this isn't necessarily like my kind of thing, so I don't know that I would go out of my way to watch it. I don't think I'd like want to be like totally sober watching it necessarily. Not unless there's a lot of other like grandiose circumstances. But give me a movie watching supplement or put me in like an old art deco theater or something and it's like I can get down with this. Like if
Get
you
down.
are willing to like really paint the picture for me, I can get on board. I don't want to half-ass it. I'm not here to just like have it on in the TV in the background. But
Yeah.
if we are doing it, like, let's do it, girl. And then I'll ride that wave. So for me, it's very enjoyable. It's again not quite my thing, but I'll give it like a 4.45.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I'm so glad that we did this for my birthday. Thank you for indulging me. I've had an incredible 12 hours because I only watched it last. No, actually, it's been the entire week because I read the whole book this week. It's been a big week.
She's
okay?
really been,
and I've been
like immersing herself in it.
I'm totally in it right now. I love this movie. I think it's so fun. I want to see the musical again in person and be conscious the whole time. Just because I really just been wanting to get back into seeing more musical theater out there. I went and saw Death Becomes Her on Broadway. I think I told y'all, and that was such a fun experience. And I just really miss live theater, and it's so impressive. It's like such a whole different types of skill set. So I'd love
I
to see
literally
that.
still think about the Paranormal Activity
Fuck, that
play.
shit was
Theater
so
girl.
good.
Yeah,
That shit
like
was
theater
so
that.
is super
good.
special.
That was so incredible.
Yeah,
and
that
this
was
is
so
coming to the
amazing.
Pantages this summer.
Phantom is?
Phantom is coming back
Let's
to the
fucking
Pantages this summer.
go. Okay, that's
June
great.
to
I would love.
August.
Oh my god. Okay, well that then it's happening. We're totally doing it. That's fucking awesome. But yeah, I think that this is a spectacular display of film making. I think it definitely has its quirks, but I like the quirks because they make it, that's what gets it to this cult status. It's not perfect. I think Guillermo could do perfect for this cuz he is literally the king of sympathetic monsters. And so this would be so perfect for him to do. I think the one place where I will dock it points is I think whatever they did to Gerard Butler's face for his reveal was so weird. It looked so weird. I was like, is this CGI? Is it practical? I think it was both, but it was just bizarre. And I just don't know what they were trying to make it look like, but I didn't think it was effective. I don't think that it read well on screen. So it just like was really very interesting. And that's the one thing I did watch from the OG 1925 Phantom of the Opera. I saw the different reveal moments for
Face
Phantom.
reveal.
I looked up, yeah, face reveal, and such a different vibe. Obviously, they had to change the way that they did it for the musical because the original mask from those movies was reminiscent of what they would do for war victims who had like gotten parts of their face like
Like
destroyed
a
in war,
prosthetic.
where they would make a prosthetic mask that was painted to look like a human face. And so it's like haunting in that uncanny valley kind of way where it like is supposed to look human but it's different. So that's what he had in that movie, and then he takes it off and his whole face is like it's like a more classic like monster face, like it's just like a non totally human looking face. It's hard to describe, but you've probably seen it if you're familiar with the Universal monsters. But they really did something. They like had a look and they're going for it. It was his whole face. Obviously then that changes with Phantom of the Opera because you can't sing when you have a whole mask over your face, so that's when they came up with the half face thing or whatever. And I don't know what the prosthetics look like on the stage, but I just don't think that this was super effective. And it was honestly like distracting from those emotional moments because I was like, what is going on? Like I was just really trying to figure out what I was seeing. So that was a big um, negative for me. But other than that, I think it's a fucking perfect movie. The songs are so good. They're so good. Even the like filler songs or whatever are really fun. And I forgot like how romantic some of the songs are. Think of Me is so emotional. Like whatever the song is with Raul and Christine, their love song, that was such a beautiful song. I love that one. I can't remember the name right now, but I love that. The music is amazing. And like yes, their voices aren't perfect, but I don't know. I just like that's kind of my expectation for movie musical. It's going to be a little less good. What? You look scared. Are you
I
okay?
forgot about one of my discussion questions. You know how Patrick Wilson's Raul calls her Little Lottie?
Yeah.
I guess this is maybe a headcanon because I don't want to find out if it's not true. But I was like, do you think that he called her Little Lottie as a child after Carlotta's character because she was like already a big star when Christine was little and Christine was an aspiring singer? And so it's like you're a little Carlotta, you're Little Lottie.
Oh, I don't
Is my
know.
headcanon for why he calls her that. And I don't want to find out if there's any other explanation.
I
But
love that headcanon.
it's
Yeah, I don't know
just,
what the age difference is supposed to be, but hey. Um, but anyway, all that to say, I really love this movie. Special place in my heart. And again, my pump up jam. Like, what's your walk up song if you were gonna be on the
Mhm.
Dodgers and you're gonna go be at bat? It will be like actually the screens come on and they play the moment where the theater comes to life at the very beginning. That would be my walk up song, which is so lame, but I also want to say that, like, if I had seen this at a young age, I think I would have become a theater nerd, like, way beyond the level that I got to. I was pretty in it, but I think I would have been, like, dressing up, standing outside of the Phantom of the Opera, like our friends were for Cats. Like, I really think that that would have been me. So, honestly, it's pretty good that I didn't see this until just a couple years ago because it really would have changed the course of my life, I think. But anyway, I'm going to give it a 4.9 just because of the fucking makeup thing that pissed me off so much. Anyway, thank you for celebrating my birthday with me. We love you so much. And as we teased last week, this is actually a soft launch for an upcoming theme. We're doing a little like tease, little soft launch, little like, I don't know, slow ride into it just so you're not too scared. But Chelsea's going to take it from here. She's going to let you know what's up.
Yeah, like Monica said, this is kicking things off. It's both a Fifth Tuesday, Monica's birthday episode, and the launch of our next themed month because, as Monica told you earlier, the second half of this movie, it's got a lot of similarities to another little movie that we call Trap. And that movie's incredible. And when we saw that, and when we saw a couple other movies that came out recently, we just knew that someday we would be called upon to do a month fully dedicated to pop star horror. And it's right there. It's right for the taking.
It's right there.
And I don't want to like fully reveal our lineup necessarily, but you can probably guess there's not that many movies necessarily.
No,
we kind of needed to
reason
wait.
You're waiting until April because one of the pop star horror movies comes out this month. Can you guess which one? We needed a fourth. We've been waiting for a fourth for a really long time.
Because there's been other options out there. I reviewed other options, but they just weren't fully giving what we needed them to be giving to be part of this month's lineup. But I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited for what is to come that's going to be fresh and new. And also to revisit some incredibly iconic movies that I got to see in theaters in the last 2 years. So
Yeah.
I can't wait. And I can't wait to kick things off with Trap next week.
I think I think this is going to answer a lot of questions for some of our listeners who are like, why haven't you done insert movie here yet? Well, we've been waiting to do Pop Star Horror Month for 2 years. So that's why. And all will be revealed. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. And as a reminder, it's my birthday. Shouldn't you wish me happy birthday with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts? It's really easy. Happy birthday, Monica. 5 stars. Simple. 3 words. There you go. Easy. You should do it. Also, we are on social media at spooky_Tuesday on pretty much everything except for Facebook and Tumblr, where we're at Spooky Tuesday Pod. Check out our website, spookytuesdaypod.com. It's got links to everything, including our Patreon. Our Patreon is popping off. We're always having a really great time in there. They're probably going to be mad that I made them watch a 2-hour, 20-minute long musical, but I know there are some people that are excited about it. And you can really get into the discourse if you join our Discord, and you can only do that if you join us on Patreon. So patreon.com/Pookie. Spooky.
That's
slash
like the
She
second time
loves
you've
to
done
say
that.
Pookie lately.
Pookie, you
She
should
calls
go
me
on
by
our
my little pet
Patreon.
name.
Patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday. Sorry, I'm real tired.
Understore. Go under the
Understore.
store. That's where
It's
the
my birthday.
Phantom of
You
the
have to be
Store
nice to me. Anyway, we're also on YouTube, and today we're doing something. Who wants to go first?
I think you should go first.
Yeah,
It's my birthday, and
you're
I'm
the
Christine
star.
Daye. The hair is not as big as I needed it to be, but we had a time crunch. And I'm wearing my masquerade earrings, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm gonna sing that part all day. So that's me.
It's Monica's birthday, and I'm Meg, who is in love with Monica. So
Oh my god, thank you. I love you too.
That one was a natural fit to me. As soon as I saw her, I was like, Sydney should be that. And I wasn't sure at first, but as I was watching the movie, I was like, I just feel like I need to reach full diva potential. So I'm
Principesa, Bella Diva.
Principesa Bella Diva. That's obviously me. And so I decided to be Carlotta And I started getting ready for this episode like 2 hours before we were set to record because I was like, let me just see if I even can do this.
You killed. It looks
But
so
thank
good.
you. I'm pretty thrilled about it. So if you want to see how it turned out, you can find our lookalikes on social media later, or you can see us all episode really living as our characters.
On YouTube. So check it out. So anyway, thank you so much for listening and celebrating with me. We will see you next Tuesday.
Bye, Spookies!
Spooky Tuesday was created by Monica Height, Sydney Thompson, and Chelsea Duff, and edited by Sydney Thompson. Our gorgeously spooky tunes are all thanks to Tamara Simons, who you can follow on Instagram at Great18. That's GR818_. And our podcast art is by Ryan Brom, who you can follow on Instagram at Ryan Brom Art. That's RyanBrommArt. Learn more about Spooky Tuesday at spookytuesdaypod.com and subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday.